Hey, Damien here once again for 9 to 5 Google, this time pitting one of the very best that the Android side has to offer with the very best of the iOS bunch to see just how well they stack up against each other, and so you can decide for yourself which is the very best. So this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 versus the iPhone XS Max in a camera shootout. One of the main differentiators between the two cameras, at least in my opinion, is the implementation of the live focus mode. I found that the Note 9 has been particularly spotty when in the live focus mode, with portions of your background sometimes in focus in tiny pockets. The iPhone XS Max for me does a much better job of mimicking the bokeh effect of a professional camera, and you can see these differences in this first image, with each exhibiting noticeable, almost signature variations. I think overall I prefer the iPhone image, as the live focus feature on the Note 9 is just not all that great. It feels way more natural and the colours are instantly superior to the Samsung, especially with regard to the overall exposure. The Note 9 seems to have a problem with properly separating the background leaves and the foreground owl ornament. Not that the iPhone has done a perfect job though, as you can see visible fringing of the fake bokeh on the extremities of the owl, something that even the Pixel is not safe from. Taking a direct picture of a bulb might not be the best way to truly test a camera's capabilities, but to be completely honest with you, I think the Note 9 has done a wonderful job with the overall exposure and colour tone of this bulb. The iPhone, despite all of its new tech, hasn't done such a good job thanks to some visible lens flare, poor shadow control and a slightly warmer tone. To be honest, I have no idea what it's doing with the ceiling either, as it seems to be way too brightly lit for an intimate dining area. Overall, the Samsung camera does a seemingly superior job here, with great control of this tricky scenario. It's managed to retain a heck of a lot of detail even when pointed directly at the light source. Possibly the biggest selling point of the Galaxy S9 Plus and the Note 9 is the ability to control the aperture for greater low light photo taking. In this low light photo example, you'd be surprised to see that both cameras are absolutely on par with one another, with the iPhone XS Max arguably doing a slightly better job in my opinion. You can see that the sky looks so inviting with the iPhone's photo. It also helps that the picture produced by the iOS device is in slightly better focus, but that's by the by. I'm as surprised as any at just how good a job the iPhone has done given the failing light conditions and just how dimly lit this landmark is. It had me wondering how both cameras compared when the sun actually descended. So with that in mind, I took another photo in much darker conditions. Both phones haven't done perfectly with this car, but each has a fairly unique look. Firstly, I need to say that I think the Note 9 has done an overall better job with detail. It's especially clear when you zoom in on the wheels, where there is still plenty of detail. The iPhone gets soft pretty darn quickly, with the majority of the car being quite fuzzy. The background itself is also a heck of a lot darker too. Apple have clearly improved the overall low light capabilities of their smartphone, and this picture shows just how well they're doing in this low light scenario. Samsung might be renowned for contrast-heavy photos, but when you compare the new iPhone to the Note 9, you could be forgiven for thinking that the iOS-powered device had a hint of Samsungness to it. The entire image has a little bit of a yellow tint, whereas the Note 9 image feels slightly brighter and whiter, some might say a little washed out by comparison. It feels to me like there's a tiny little bit more detail in the image produced by the Samsung, but I personally prefer the slightly warmer picture produced by the iPhone. But despite that, if I were to share one to Instagram or online, I think I'd prefer the slightly more detailed Note 9, where I could adjust to match the look of the iPhone without completely destroying the image. I noticed in quite a few of the daylight pictures taken by the XS Max, they seem to have a slight yellow tint, at least in my opinion, so I wanted to see how both cameras handled the iconic British town staple, the red phone box. You can see straight away just how yellow the image is when compared to the surprisingly colour accurate Samsung. The focus is also slightly better in the picture produced by the device from the Korean tech giant. Personally, I'd say somewhat surprisingly, the Note 9 has done an overall better job in my small colour test. Does this mean though that the Note 9 is better at overall colour control? Well, I'm not confident enough to say yes, but having used both devices, and with the Note 9 being my main phone, I feel that both phones have something to offer to suit any shooting style. So what can we learn from this test overall? Well, after leading for such a long time in the smartphone camera stakes, Apple has very quickly fallen behind in camera hardware, but the 2018 iPhones do manage to claw back some of that lost ground. That being said, for me at least, the stock iOS camera app is exponentially better than any found on Android. We'd love to know what you think. Who do you think the overall superior smartphone camera belongs to? After all, the results are heavily subjective and will depend on what you personally prefer. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. It'd be great to hear your personal opinions. Hopefully that gives you an indication of what to expect in the photographic stakes from both devices. And if you did enjoy this video, then please remember to drop a like and subscribe for more Android and Google focused content just like this. So I suppose all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching. This has been Damien for 95google.com, and I will speak to you later.